Hello, everybody. I'm Kenya. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to get right to it and start talking about heartbreak. And as ladies, this is a video for the ladies. If there are any guys watching, I'm pretty sure these tips will help you as well, because we're all human. We all have feelings, whether you're male or female. But as a woman, I'm speaking from a woman's point of view. But my tips are definitely something that can help men as well. So my first tip, well, I first want to just say that heartbreak, I believe it doesn't, I think it happens to us all at some point in life. You know, we make these plans, we make these idealizations of somebody, and sometimes we get ahead of ourselves when we start dating somebody. And, you know, we're picturing wedding dresses, and we're picturing marriage, and we're picturing babies, and the white picket fence, and all of those lovely, lovely things that we deserve. But it doesn't always pan out with the person that you thought that it would. And sometimes that ends in heartbreak. You know, society shows us a lot, which I believe to be different, that society tells us a lot in a lot of ways, that women are the ones who are being mistreated. Women are the ones who are being bamboozled. We're the ones who are, you know, not being told the truth by or for men, you know. And I believe in a lot of instances that's the case. But I also believe, so we've got a special cameo today, Miss Aaliyah. Aaliyah is one. Miss Mommy, yeah. Aaliyah is one of my 3 daughters. And how old are you, Aaliyah?
6.
6. You'll be 7 in 1 week, right? Okay. So Aaliyah is a twin. I have twins, identical twins. She has a twin sister, and I have an older daughter. Her name is Amira, and Aaliyah just wanted to come give mommy some love while I was recording. Thank you, honey. You ready to go back and play now? I love you. My sweet girl. I have really sweet girls. I'm very blessed. They are all very well behaved.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay. Back to the topic at hand, heartbreak, and how we're gonna get over it. We've all been there, you know, and whether you're male or female, you've been there. And sometimes it's hard. It's hard to get over. It's difficult because, as I was saying before, you've kind of created this storyline. I hate to say storyline, but sometimes we as women, we jump ahead of ourselves when we meet somebody, and without giving it time to actually see, is this person actually capable of loving me the way I need to be loved, the way I deserve to be loved. And as we do that, sometimes when we do that, heartbreak is the ending result of, you know, not analyzing somebody and not giving somebody time to show you who they really are, and not asking those tough questions when you first meet somebody. If you want to get married and you meet a guy and your goal is marriage, it's important that you ask him, you know, do you want to be married? Where do you see this going? You know, what are your goals in your personal life and in your, you know, in your life overall? How do you see that going, you know? And that's not, I think a lot of women, I know for me, you want to say, you know, you'll trick yourself and say in your head, oh, you know, I'm jumping the gun, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, he's gonna think I'm crazy, because why am I asking about marriage and we just met each other and this and that and that? No, you are setting yourself up to determine whether or not you want to continue seeing this person, dating this person. Because if you ask that question within the first few dates and he tells you, this is not, you know, something that I want right now, I'm just, you know, it's not a good time for me, I'm not thinking about marriage right now, then it's in your head and you have the decision as a woman to make whether or not you want to continue dating him and seeing him and giving him your precious time. I think that if we as women do that, assess a person, assess an individual first before we, create these illusions in our head about how this relationship is going to turn out, in the end, it will result in less heartbreak. It's only when we don't ask these questions that we end up being heartbroken. Um, so yeah, ask those difficult questions. Get in his head. Let him know that you are serious. Let him know that you aren't a play. You aren't a woman who's here to play. Some of us, me, I'm in my 30s. You've done it before. You've done the playing. You've done the dating, and you're ready to settle down. Or if you've been in a past relationship, long relationship, some of us are relationship type women. We don't just date to have fun or just date to, pass time or whatever out of boredom. No, we're intentional with dating. And I think that's so important to reiterate when you meet somebody, that you are a very intentional woman. You recognize and you value your time, and you are not the woman to, quote unquote, I am not the woman that will come into your life, that I will allow you to come into my life to waste my time if you are not intentional about what your plans are for me. Now, on the other hand, there's a lot of women who, and I know this can end in heartbreak too, but there's a lot of women who, maybe you're not looking for anything serious. Maybe you just want to have fun, according to your own standards, according to your own beliefs and your own values. And you're cool with him saying, oh, well, I'm not, looking for that. That's different. And I know that ends in heartbreak too, because sometimes we as women, we think very highly of ourselves, right? And as we should, but a lot of times we think that we're that girl. I'm going to be that girl that changes his mind, and that girl that he decides to commit to because he's just not going to be able to let me go, right? And truth be told, unfortunately, that's not how it always works. I think that a man has to be ready to settle down with you. He has to want to be committed, regardless of how beautiful you are, regardless of how smart and intelligent you are, regardless of everything that you offer, because you are as a woman, he'll still turn you down, and he'll still decide that I'm just not ready for this, because it could be various reasons. It could be that he just don't like you like that. I mean, everybody isn't gonna like me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And once you acknowledge that and you understand that and you get out of your own head and think that that makes you less than because this guy doesn't like you or this guy doesn't like you, then you will be able to rationalize somebody walking away from you. And I think that that is one of the ways that I've been able to come out of a situationship or a relationship with my dignity, with my head held high, and with my heart not shattered in pieces, because you have to realize that you aren't going to be for everybody. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You're not going to be for everybody. Everybody is different. And it's okay. It's okay. Ladies, it's okay. It's okay if he doesn't want you. It's okay. You are still beautiful. You are still God's daughter. you are still that bomb, beep, bomb-ass chick who is going to do great things in this world and who contributes great things to this world and who will be a great wife, partner, companion for the right person. So once you acknowledge that and once you're able to grasp that, there are some scriptures that I want to read just to go along with that, because my tip is to know who you are. You know, I say all that to say, know who you are. Just because one person doesn't like you, just because one person walks away and decides that they don't see your value, or they may even see your value, but they may recognize that, you know, she's just not for me. I'm just not for her. Something just isn't there. The chemistry could be off, you know, the level of attraction could fade. It could be that they got what they wanted from you and they just decided to move on to the next. Good for you. You dodged a bullet, because any man that is going to go after a woman for her body is kind of a low class of a man, right? And it doesn't matter how much money he makes. It doesn't matter where he lives or how macho he feels like he is. If a man does not have the character to honor a woman in her body, then you just do not want him, right? That's a boy, that's a child, and you don't want those problems anyway moving forward in your life, right? Because if he acts like that in that area, then you can imagine how he acts in other areas where it's time for your character to show. So look at it that way, and don't give yourself up so soon. Don't examine his character, examine what he says, listen to what he's saying. And you don't even have to ask. Sometimes you don't even have to ask questions, ladies. You can just listen to what a man says, and he will reveal himself if you just let him talk. I know I find myself sometimes doing a lot of talking, and I've had to like catch myself and be like, can you be quiet? Because you know, you putting all your cards on the table. Don't do that. Let him talk. Let him reveal himself to you in the ways that he absolutely will. And that's why you have to protect your body and protect your mind and your spirit by not sleeping with him too soon. You have to get those conversations in. You have to analyze his character, see what his values are, see what he stands for, you know, because then those red flags will pop up. And if he's cuckoo, it will definitely show itself. And you'll be like, thank God I did not sleep with him. Because once you sleep with him, you grow those attachments, and then your mind becomes foggy, and now you're not looking at him for who he really is. And now he just starts, you know, telling you anything, and we're not analyzing it because now it's become physical, and that's a whole nother area to be in with somebody. You know, your mind becomes, I mean, we know what that does, and why God has created such a sacred act for between people, because it does change the dynamic in relationships, and that's why you have to know him first. And if you don't, you could ultimately end up in heartbreak. So know who you are as women. And the scriptures that I wanted to add or to remind you of is, know who you are. You are God's daughter. You are created, uniquely created. You are beautiful. There is no other woman like you. No other woman like you. Nobody can offer this world what you offer it. Nobody. Nobody has your mind. Nobody has your energy. Nobody has your smell. Nobody has your aura. So know that God created you. And when he created you, he did it very uniquely. He created you to be you. And once you know who you are, you will begin to love yourself and remind yourself that forget him. You know, you can cry. We all cry after heartbreaks, after things don't go our own way. Take a moment. Don't try to hold it in. You don't always have to be tough. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to be tough, because then when you try to hold it in, you'll harbor that energy. Take a moment. Feel it. Feel everything that you're feeling. If you feel tears coming, let the tears flow. Let your heart release all of that sorrow and that pain from being or feeling rejected. Give it a few minutes. Give it 5 minutes. Give it 10 minutes. Give it an hour. Release it. And I promise you, you'll feel so much better after. And then speak some affirmations over yourself. Get into your word and speak those affirmations. I am beautiful. I am uniquely made. My name is Kenya, and there is nobody else like me. I am not perfect, but I am whole, with or without a man, because Christ has made me whole. And here's a few scriptures that you can speak, aside from the affirmations that you can speak. Scriptures are life. Scriptures, the word of God is life, it's truth, and it's piercing like a two-edged sword. So when you speak this into the atmosphere, when you remind yourself, you are doing something in the spiritual realm that will trigger your heart and your mind to align with what you are saying, right? In Song of Solomon, God calls us, he says, you are altogether beautiful, my daughter. No, my darling. This is how God looks at us as his daughters. Song of Solomon 4:7. You are altogether beautiful, my darling. There is no flaw in you. Wow. There is no flaw in you. You are beautiful. No matter what anybody says, no matter who rejects you, no matter who decides that you're not for them, no matter who decides they're not going to commit for you, you are altogether beautiful, my darling. He calls us his darling. How special is that God calls us his darling? There is no flaw in you. And I know in this chapter it's the man speaking to his future bride, but we are the bride of Christ. So God looks at us in this way. In Proverbs 31:25, he says, she is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. Know your strength. Keep your dignity. Don't let heartbreak, don't let a man break you down to the point where you forget that you are clothed with strength and dignity, and you can laugh at the days to come. That means after you have your crying and your tears, you need to pull it together and start laughing at the joy and the blessings that are going to come into your life. Because when one door closes, if one man walks away, God will bring somebody better for you, better for your life. If you have kids, somebody who's going to be a better stepfather or bonus dad or anything, somebody who's going to be better for your kids. And that's so important as well for me as a mom. I think I want to give one more. Psalms 139, 13 through 16. You made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit me together in my mother's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Oh my gosh. You are a complex individual as a woman. You are just beautiful, just complex, beautiful. You're a puzzle, and the right man is going to want to put that puzzle together, and it will be a beautiful, loving experience all around. So remind yourself that. So that was my first tip, is to know who you are and whose you are. And there's so much more that I have regarding this topic, but I've been here like 20 minutes already. So I'm going to pause and take a break and come back with some more tips and do another clip, because my next point that I want to make is know whose you are. And that's going to be good, because once we look into this word and we see what God has called us as his daughters, you're like, wow, like there is no way I can sit around and be heartbroken over a man who doesn't want me. There's no way, because I am the daughter of a king. Therefore, I am a princess, and he loves me. And anybody who decides to come into my life will love me just as he loves me. And so, thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to continue this. This was good for me, because it was a reminder for me too. I'm speaking to myself and teaching myself as I record these videos. I'm reminding myself of my own value. We all get into times and moments or seasons where we don't feel valuable, or we may go through a heartbreak and we may feel like we're in a sunken place. But no, my beautiful, lovely friend, you are beautiful, and know that. Know who you are. Thank you for watching. Until next time.